Hey everyone, good to see you again on my 24th vlog, looking for a love story. And of course I'm on this paradise island. It's a good topic for today, however I don't even know where to start because I'm super nervous. I feel quite ashamed around this topic, and especially of the findings that I discovered, and I'll probably just gonna start and see how we go. So yeah, looking for a love story. What I realized this week was I was talking to a man and we were talking about intimacy, and that I actually said, like, it's been such a long time ago and I feel actually a deep longing for intimacy and touch. And he asked me, like, okay, but why don't you allow yourself to be touched, or like, don't you have someone to touch you? And I was like, no, I actually don't. I don't allow men to just touch me. A man needs to deserve my touch, and a man needs to prove his love for me, so I would allow his touch on my body. And of course it's beautiful to limit yourself within certain boundaries of intimacy and not to have intimacy with the entire world, or maybe it is better, I don't know, because I'm not used to it. But what he realized is that he made me realize is that actually I'm losing my own pleasure because I want men to prove themselves, and I wanted the men to prove me that, how to say that? Yeah, he needed to prove his love. Sorry, I'm really struggling right now. He needed to prove his love, but actually what was going on underneath is that he didn't only needed to prove me that he cared about me, and so I was able to allow and feel safe and feel trust that he would touch me or be intimate with. But what I found out is that a man needs to prove himself that I am worthy of his love, which is actually the total opposite of what the intention should be. So I realize that with every man I have an encounter with where I'm interested in, I feel like that person needs to prove me his love for me. But even worse, he needs to prove me that I'm worthy of his love. And while talking to that man this weekend, I was like, wow, I don't allow myself to have any pleasure or intimacy or hugs or whatever. Like, I'm not even referring to sex or anything, just simple touch, or like someone needs to prove himself to me. And especially because I see like men have beautiful words but no actions. And when I relate this to my past, somehow I think that I'm still running in a pattern of my dad, who has been, he left us when I was 11. I was actually quite happy that he left us because he was very abusive, aggressive, dominant, and a total unpleasant being to be around with. And especially when he left us, I didn't want to see him. But it was like he didn't do anything in his power to make us see him. And up until today, like he's crying that we don't want to see him, or he's crying that he loves us so much and he misses us so much, but he never takes action. He never shows that he actually cares. He says the words and he's crying, and I truly believe that he loves me, but he has never shown me in action that he actually loves me. And even though I don't want to admit, and that's why this shame comes along, is that somehow I think that the men that I see are similar to this. I want them to show me that I'm worthy, because my father never did, probably. And I don't want to live in my past, but I can see that it's like this pattern is keep coming and coming. And yeah, I want to let this part go. I really want to see like, okay, because it's limiting me. It's limiting me of my playfulness, of my pleasure, of my joy. Because when a man comes into my field, there's like some kind of pressure that he has to prove something. And I truly believe that in the energetic field, that someone can feel that. So someone can really feel that there's pressure on his shoulders, that someone needs to save me or something. Well, in my mind, that's not the case, but maybe energetically, I'm still holding on to something like that. And what I see now is like, okay, but I do need intimacy and touch, and and it doesn't mean that every man I come across with is like a potential love story. It's actually the opposite. However, like every man who wants to be around me needs to show me that they want me. I want you to want me. Everyone knows the song. I want you to want me. Well, yeah, that's never gonna happen, clearly. Well, maybe when I let this go, I don't know, like, yeah. And the shame I really feel around is that I'm still running in this pattern, and I still have this tendency, but I also feel now like, okay, it's good for me to open up. It's good for me to see what is it that I desire, what is it that I want. Not only that the other person has to prove me something, but what is it that I want to give in that moment? What is it that I want to do in that moment? Do I want to hug him? Do I want to kiss him? What is it that I want to do? I let my fear just come in and freeze till the other person show me that I'm safe to give something of myself. And related to last week's vlog about meet me halfway, there's like a blockage of showing something of myself because the other person needs to prove me that I'm safe. I'm done with it. It's time for pleasure, it's time for joy, it's time for playfulness. And yeah, so what my teaching is this week is really like, relax in the presence of someone else. To be myself means that I have to be relaxed. I don't have to prove anything, I don't have to do anything, but that means for the other person too. The other person don't need to do anything either. We just need to be ourselves. And from this place we can meet each other, I guess. And this is still something I'm discovering. But my teachings will be, besides the fact that someone, of course, needs to be worthy of your touch. It's not like, oh, let's come and have touch with everyone. Like, it has to be an exchange. But at the same time, it's really like, what I did is not to be too rigid on how it should be or how he should behave, or every potential man was a potential love story. I would love to have a love story on this island, but it is way more complicated. I'd rather be alone, I guess. Yeah. So be playful, stay close to yourself, and also follow your pleasure. And I think it's even in the Netherlands where the government was familiar with what we call skin hunger, like the longing for physical touch. And our government gave the recommendation to find a sex buddy during these COVID times. So yeah, I'm not sure that's something for me, but at least I'm really willing to open up a little bit more to enjoy pleasure in the way that suits me. And I've expressed in another vlog that I wait with sex, and why I do that. I still believe in that. I don't give my body just randomly. That's something that doesn't suit me. But if it suits you, go for it. But yeah, just follow the pleasure what suits you, and stay close to yourself, and be playful. Thank you so much for watching again. I would love to see you next week, and enjoy your day. Stay playful, stay fun, maybe even naughty, and I would love to see you next week. With love. Ciao.